Scottish Premiership season is set to kick off this weekend as the Hoops look to compete in all fronts this campaign. There is still expected to be a lot more additions between now and the end of the window, despite the club already making 5 new additions. In today's video we will discuss a massive transfer twist, whilst also going over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Celtic content. Celtic's title defence begins next week when they host Ross County at 12:30 PM for Flag Day. The boys will be eager to get the 2023-24 season off to a flyer under new manager Brendan Rodgers. Although there has been a managerial change in Glasgow's East End, many believe that the Scottish Premiership title will still end up there at the end of the season. Alan Stubbs is particularly of this opinion. The former Hoops defender spoke to the Daily Record and said, "As we speak right now, before a ball has been kicked, everyone would say Celtic are overwhelmingly favourites to win the league. The great thing for Brendan is that he has got a great blend of both, and what's vital is that they've got experienced players who know how to win. It would be a major surprise if Celtic were not to win the league again in 2023-24. Last year the boys finished 7 points ahead of their rivals. They will be aiming to widen that gap in the forthcoming campaign, and that is something Stubbs believes they could do." He continued, "I feel as if Celtic are still a good 12 to 15 points better than Rangers right now. Despite being tipped by many to win the league, Brendan Rodgers will ensure his players' feet are kept firmly on the ground." Celtic cannot afford to get too ahead of themselves, but they do have the right to be confident as they look to secure their 12th title in 13 years. Just a quick one, boys and girls, to tell you that we have a new drop available on our website. We have the Brendan Rodgers Pope tee along with the Celtic Ultra t-shirts. Do browse the collection by going down to the link in the description or going to celticapparel.com. Anyway, let's get back into today's video. Mike Nowocki has made a welcome return to training after a brief spell on the sidelines due to a minor injury. This development comes as a positive sign for Celtic as they prepare for their league opener against Ross County this Saturday. Nowocki's injury had led him to miss a game for Legia Warsaw before he made the move to Glasgow and Celtic's recent match against Wolverhampton Wanderers. In his absence, Celtic had to rely on Stephen Welsh and Liam Scales as their central defensive pairing. With Nowocki's return, the club's defensive depth will receive a significant boost, especially as they gear up for the rigorous challenges of the new season. Nowocki was pictured participating fully in Monday's training session as Celtic prepared for the testimonial match with James Forrest. His involvement in the full training session is an encouraging sign for both the coach and staff and fans who have been eagerly awaiting his return. During the transfer window, unexpected turns are not a commonplace, they are a certainty. As the summer transfer window heats up, Celtic could find themselves unexpectedly back in the race for Croatian goalkeeper Dominik Livkovic. Livkovic, who's a towering 28-year-old goalkeeper, currently plies his trade with Dynamo Zagreb. His reputation as a reliable shot stopper has the attention of clubs from across Europe, with Celtic being credited with a keen interest. Only a fortnight ago, it seems Celtic fans were left disappointed as reports emerged of a deal between Livkovic and Turkish giants Fenerbahce. The supposed agreement was seen as a blow for Celtic, who are seeking to bolster their goalkeeping department ahead of the new season. However, as it often happens in the transfer window, this deal has so far failed to materialise. BDO Sports report that Dynamo Zagreb want to keep a hold of their goalkeeper for the entirety of their Champions League qualifiers. The Croatian side are currently in the second round of qualifiers and are comfortable 4 goals to the good against Astana. But given the amount of money up for grabs by qualifying from the group stages, keeping a hold of Dominik until then appears to be a sensible move. It now leaves the door open for other clubs despite the same report still pushing Livkovic towards Fenerbahce. This is what we know so far. Celtic's interest in Livkovic is apparent, but it's important to note that the boys have yet to table a formal bid. Mark Hendry from Football Scotland revealed the interest around the same time as the Fenerbahce move looked on. Hendry wrote hours after Celtic's interest had become known that a deal looked to have been done by the Turkish side. Manager Brendan Rodgers, alongside the club's scouting team, has marked the goalkeeping position as an area for reinforcement this summer, and Livkovic seems to fit the bill. Joe Hart is entering the final year of his contract with the club. The potential arrival of Livkovic would not only provide immediate competition for Hart, but also offer a long-term solution in the event Hart's stay in Glasgow isn't extended. Former Celtic striker Frank McAviney has told Football Insider that the Hoops will have the funds to outbid Fenerbahce. He said, "That is what Celtic are, they can go and match Fenerbahce without any problems. I think he'll be a lot better coming to Celtic than going to Turkey. I would say we are a better club for anyone of that stature. He was different class in the World Cup. It would be a great thing for him and Joe Hart to have a fight." It would be a wonderful thing for the football club. I do not think Scott Bain or Benjamin Ziegler can challenge Joe Hart. For the moment, all eyes are on Fenerbahce and their moves in the goalkeeper market. Celtic may seem a golden opportunity to swoop in for Livkovic. However, they are going to have to put down some serious cash if they want the World Cup start before the end of the window. Brendan Rodgers was appointed Celtic manager in the middle of June, and since then the club has went on to sign 5 players. The Hoops' business has been carried out promptly yet again this summer, and a lot of it is down to the behind-the-scenes recruitment team. Mark Law is the head of recruitment for the Champions and does a terrific job. Rodgers recently praised him and spoke about the procedure that is in place for signing a player at Celtic. He told Sky Sports, "The players that have come in over the past couple of years, Mark Law, who is the head of the recruitment team here, has done a fantastic job. He's got a very good team of people behind him, so I trust in their work. Some of those players were identified before I came in, so it was about giving them the blessing, and some of them have been identified while I've been in. It is refreshing that regarding recruitment, Celtic have a modern and effective system in place. In this day and age, next to no managers will play a huge part in identifying players to sign, although they do like to spend big. This is not something that will be done by Rodgers and Celtic this window." He continued, "We want to improve the squad. I think everyone looks and thinks we're going to bring in a £15 to £20 million player now. The reality is that won't be the case. There's still quite a way to go in the window, so we'll look to improve the squad again and continue with that. We already know that the Irishman is keen to add to his squad before the end of the summer. It will be somewhat disappointing for supporters that extravagant amounts of money won't be spent, but the club's strategy of buying young and cheap players and selling them on for major profit will not alter anytime soon. That does not mean quality won't be brought in though. As we've seen, some of the best players the club have signed in recent years, such as Hatate and Kyogo, have not broken the bank in terms of transfer fees. It would be encouraging to see if money was spent, but as Rodgers said, shelling out upwards of £15 million on a player is unrealistic, at least in his view. The gaffer also provided an update on the futures of defensive pair Liam Scales and Stephen Welsh. Both players have been subject to transfer speculation recently, with Scales linked to Aberdeen where he spent the previous season on loan, and Welsh rumoured to be headed to the Serie A in Italy, a league that has proven fruitful for many young Scottish talents. Speaking about the speculations, Rodgers said to Sky Sports, "I think the beauty of coming in and assessing everything is giving them that prolonged period. You can sometimes make a decision too early on a player." However, he also noted that the balance needs to be struck, as players' desires can conflict with the club's strategies. He continued, "But it works both ways. Sometimes you may want a player to be here and be in your squad, but naturally they may want to go and play and start somewhere every week, so it works both ways." Both Scales and Welsh have shown impressive form during the pre-season, leaving Rodgers pleased with their performances. He said, "Both those guys that you mentioned, Welsh and Scales, have been excellent over the course of pre-season, and we'll see how that develops over the coming weeks." Rodgers' comments suggest that the future of both players at Celtic Park remains uncertain. The manager's approach seems to prioritise giving each player adequate time to prove their worth before making any final decisions. Simultaneously, he acknowledges that the players' desires to seek regular game time might also influence their future career trajectories. As the transfer window continues, all eyes will be on Celtic Park to see how the situation surrounding Scales and Welsh unfolds. With the two showing promising form in pre-season, the decisions made in the coming weeks could significantly shape Celtic's defensive lineup for the upcoming season. Celtic fans, do we need a new goalkeeper this summer? Yes or no? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video, guys. Make sure you drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for daily Celtic content. Remember guys, we have also released our brand new Celtic collection. We have our Brendan Rodgers Pope t-shirts and our Celtic Ultra t-shirts too. You can find them at celticapparel.com or just go down to the link in the description. Thank you, take care, bye bye.